One and only Leo Biaz. Hey, Leo.
I'm excited to be back, my man. It was 9 days in Vegas. We got stuck in the desert, and we had a little hangover remix out there, man.
I wore a wig to school once, and they said no headgear was allowed.
How did
spider web
was it
tights.
Obvious that it was a wig?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was having
terrible
fun.
wig.
See, this is exactly why we have them on the show, and this is what makes them fun.
You're listening to KXVS, the voice of Stockton, 92.1 FM.
Hello, welcome to Chef Tobias Cooks, here where we have kitchen conversations with professional chefs, cooks, home cooks, bakers, and people that just can't cook. So join us every week for our kitchen conversations and learn a thing or two. And I don't burn nothing in my kitchen.
This is Darius Oliver, and you're listening to 92.1 KXVS, the voice of Stockton.
This broadcast will start in 60 seconds. This broadcast will start in 45 seconds. This broadcast will start in 30 seconds. This broadcast will start in 15 seconds. This broadcast will start in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The Voice of Stockton. For more information on The Voice of Stockton, go to thevoiceofstockton.org.
The views and opinions expressed in the following program do not necessarily reflect those of KXVS, The Voice of Stockton, or its parents, affiliates, management, and staff.
Da 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 da, shabba da do da da da, shabba da dee da da da, shabba da dee da do da da da, shabba da dee da da da, shabba da be da do da da da, shabba da beat da da da, yeah, shabba dee da, said to buy is good.
KXVS, The Voice of Stockton presents Woman in Business. Here's your host, Chef Tobias Cooks.
Thank you for joining me, Chef Tobias Cooks, with Women in Business, here with the Voice of Stockton. Yes, please, you could go ahead and join us live with the Voice of Stockton on YouTube and Facebook. We are live streaming. I will also be replaying this as well on Chef Tobias Cooks YouTube page and Facebook page. Thank you for joining us. We are about to get into our business conversation, our women's special edition here with Central Valley. I am so excited today to introduce my next guest. I'm excited. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Pamela Jones. I'm with the Financial Freedom Crusaders here in Stockton.
Yes, and how can they find you?
You can find me at Huddle, actually. I'm at Huddle, and the address is 110 North San Joaquin Street, second floor in downtown Stockton.
All right, and we'll talk a little bit more about Huddle and how they'll be able to find you, what days and times for your upcoming event. Go ahead and give them your Facebook page on how they can contact you immediately.
Okay.
It's a girl's thing. I had to fix her hair.
So my Facebook page is WSBLOTUSGRN. So it's a little different from the name of my organization, but that's where you would find me.
All right. And we'll go ahead and put the link out as well. So then that way they could just click on the link and they'll be able to contact you directly.
Awesome.
Thank you for coming on. I'm so excited to have you, especially the topic that we're getting ready to get into, which is the debt management. Yes, ladies, we are going to be talking about debt management today. That is a very important piece of having a business, correct?
That is correct. That is
All
correct.
right. So you and I know each other.
Yes.
We met about a little over a year ago.
Yes, we did.
We met over food.
Yes. Of course.
If you notice, if anyone follow me, you notice I build my relationships on food.
That's the best way to build.
Yes, and I'm so excited because we both are downtown Stockton.
Yes.
You're still a part of downtown Stockton again at Huddle. Go ahead, we'll put a link for that. You can look them up as well. But what we're going to be talking about today is Miss Pamela, about her company, herself, how she got started. And then we'll talk about your event that's coming up. When is it?
Thursday.
It's tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow.
Perfect timing. Okay, so let's get into it. Tell me a little bit about your background and how it led you into getting into financial literacy.
Well, I've been in the financial services industry for over 20 years now.
Wow.
I started out as a bank teller at Bank of Stockton. And then I moved forward to doing processing, mostly in the mortgage industry. I was with JP Morgan Chase for about 10 years in the
Wow.
mortgage servicing sector. And then dealt with a couple of layoffs during that volatile time, especially during the retail crash and the stock market crash. So got tired of going back and forth, trying to find a different job, within the mortgage industry. It was very volatile. So I decided to look into other ventures, was looking into going into being a financial investor. Needed the platform to get started. So I was able to find one platform that I've stuck with, and then from there I've branched out to create my own business through that platform. So I'm also a licensed insurance agent with the state of California, and I'm also a certified insurance agent with Covered California. So in addition to education, I also help with solutions.
All right. So your background, just like me, have a background and able to harness our background and harness our education and knowledge, put us forth into why we're entrepreneurs right now.
Yes.
Okay. So I promised them a little bit about debt management. Let's get into it.
Okay.
What is the first thing? Okay. So I'll start it off. For me as a woman, debt sometimes can mean a little different things. It can mean my hair,
Yes.
my makeup.
Yes.
I use sandals for the summertime versus boots during the wintertime. So for us, our debt management is a little bit different.
Yes,
as
it's a tad different.
woman.
Yes.
Plus, if you have children or if you have nieces and nephews, you have to include them in your budget as well.
Yes, definitely.
So our debt management is a different ratio.
Yes.
Compare, and if you're single, then you have all of it wrapped up together.
That is true. And that has its own set of issues there as well.
Yes, so let's just get the elephant out the room of us as women and what we consider debt management is. So for women in business, we often have to sacrifice those things.
Correct.
What is some of the top strategies that you will give a woman in business as far as debt management?
Just in general, when you're buying something, look at it as whether it's a want or a need.
For a
Now,
woman, right?
For a woman, for a man, for entrepreneur, personal, your personal finances.
Yes.
That covers all aspects. From a business perspective, as an entrepreneur, you can look at it as, okay, you just spoke about your hair, makeup, everything. Now, could be looked at from a business perspective as an investment, because you have to be presentable in front of your audience. You have a visual audience, so you have to be presentable.
Yes.
So that's considered a need for your business.
Okay.
In regards to a want, now, you can either want that Louis Vuitton purse to accessorize to fit the ensemble of, your entrepreneurship, or you could say, well, I can go for something a little bit more within my budget.
Yes.
Doesn't necessarily have to be name brand, but
Like Berkeley Flea Market.
yeah. Yeah, it's all how you your appearance. If you can play it off, why not? It's the ensemble is selling yourself. So if you don't necessarily have to break the bank in order to invest in yourself.
Yes.
So it goes back to whether it's a want or a need. Same thing with personal. When you're doing a budget, is that something that you really want at the time? Is it really necessary? Can you hold off on it? Can you save on it till another time? Or is it something that you really need? So right there, it kind of separates from the start, on how to start, controlling your debt.
Okay. And that's a good one, because as women, we do have to include that.
Yes.
In our
yes.
in our budget.
Yes.
It's very important, especially the type of business you might have or work that you might do if you show up, if you work in corporate world, or like me that have like 15 pairs of chef shoes. It's important for us. Okay, so our next step, now that we've taken care of knowing the difference between the wants and needs in our personal appearance and our budget, what would be the next step for women in business in regards to debt management?
Well, of course, looking at your budget, looking at your actual finances, starting a financial strategy. You may have an idea of how your finances are, but once you put it on paper and you actually see it on paper, then you look at it and you're like, well, I need to start getting started on some of these things to break down. Most of it, and the majority of it, I would say, is credit card debt. So if you have someone that's helping you with credit card debt, that's awesome. If you don't, please find a person that specializes in that. That'll help you get started. But I mean, there's also tools online where you can do that yourself if you don't want to go that route. Very simple steps that's something separate on its own, but just simple basic steps to get started. One that we speak about is debt roll up. Starting with looking at all your debts. Okay. Starting with the smallest. Pay off the smallest and roll up what you would pay from your smallest to the next one. Okay. And roll up further. So we talk about that concept in our workshop. And also, starting a budget. Everyone's budget is different, of course. You don't necessarily have to have one budget, especially as a business owner. You may have one separate for your business and one for personal. I suggest that you always keep everything separate, business and personal. You don't want to commingle the two, because that will cause a huge mess, especially when you're dealing during tax season. So create a budget for your business as well as a budget for your personal, for your family household. And then learn about the concepts that we discuss in our workshops, and we can go from there.
All right. Okay, so can you add a quick tip for a woman that's in business, as far as you talked about, what was it, debt roll-up?
Yes.
What is something that they could do immediately, like during this conversation or after this conversation? Like one thing they could do that they will see a difference in doing that, besides looking at the smaller bill and paying it off. Like, what is one thing that they could do? Like, for me, I would suggest pull your credit report.
Actually, there's something even simpler than that.
Well, okay.
Today, in fact, you can start it right now. Track your spending habit.
Ooh.
Track your spending habit starting right now.
Okay.
You can, you don't need like a fancy form or anything. Just get a notebook or a piece of paper, and then just write down where you're spending your money. And then at the end of the day, look and see where you spent your money. You can do it for I would say, look at a history of it. So it doesn't have to be like a whole month or anything like that, but maybe for the next 3 days or even till the end of this week, and then assess how your spending habits are, and go back to again where you were spending. Was it a want or was it a need? My habit that I need to adjust with, because everybody, it's an ongoing process.
Yes, it is.
And I've done pretty good on it, but I still need more work.
I have one too.
That is eating out.
Yeah. well,
that is eating out. Now, what I will say is, there's a twofer why I eat out. One is because convenience, because I'm constantly, busy.
Yes.
So I'm, unfortunately, when I have time, I don't have the time, or I'm too tired to cook a meal.
Yes.
The other thing is that I also like checking out the local areas here, and showing support.
Yes, me too.
So what you could do on a twofer is just balance it out.
Yes.
According to your budget. There's some days where you can, say, well, let's go out. Take the family out, budget it in.
Yes.
Make it a routine where maybe 3 times a week you'll be able to make your own lunch or something like that. Pre-make your lunches. That's something I'm not very good at all, and I need a lot of work with that.
Yes.
But it's like very simple things you can cut back on. If you're a coffee fanatic and you're a Starbucks person, I'm personally a Pete's person. But then again, I also support the local, coffee houses here. Hello to Trail and Terra.
Yes.
I'm a regular at Terra, but even with that, that's $4 right there. With some people, make it twice a week. Make your own coffee. Something simple like that. Just track your spending habits for a couple of days and see where you can kind of cut back and say, did I really need that latte today? Did I really need 2 lattes today? Something simple like that.
Yes.
And then go from there when creating a budget.
That's really easy, and that's a good one. Thank you for that tip. So
welcome.
Track your spending.
Yes.
And you can do that right now while you're listening to this conversation. Like Pamela say, you just pull out a pen, paper, and just write down everything that you spent. Another thing that I like to do is I try to use everything by card. I try to pay everything by card so that at the end of the week, I can pull that, my personal or my business statements, and then that also give me how I track spending as well.
That is good. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
but my thing is I like to try lots of different food type products. Like yesterday, I was in the store. We were at Winco, and we were in the Bend area. And I had to get the toffee peanuts. Like, I didn't need the toffee peanuts, right? And guess what? I don't even like toffee peanuts.
See?
But I saw they had the toffee peanut. But guess what they had, Dustin?
What?
They had the coconut toffee peanut.
Oh.
The coconut toffee peanut. And I was like...
It's instantly like, oh, I'm going to regret this.
And it was like, I didn't need it because I don't really like peanuts, but it was, you understand what I'm saying? It was coconut. It was coconut.
Oh, you saw it was coconut.
It was coconut toffee covered peanuts.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I got to the grocery store, when I got up to the to pay for it, I overspent like $7. And then, so I couldn't go get my Jamba Juice.
See?
I could not go get my Jamba Juice.
There it is. There it is.
Because I was out of my budget.
That dang coconut.
Yeah,
Yes.
I was so mad.
Yes.
I was so mad. I was like,
that's exactly what I'm talking about. When you're and don't feel bad, because I have those those moments too
it was
where
coffee,
I'm like
coffee. It was coconut coffee covered peanuts.
Yes, I have those
but
moments
I couldn't
too.
get my good Jamba Juice.
But you don't knock yourself down on it. You say you count it as it's done. It's done. If you're tracking your spending habits, you know that's something that you need to kind of cut back on, and then on to the next.
Is there some free tools that someone can go to and do that? Like if they decided to be a little more technical about it, or would you suggest?
I'm not exactly sure if there's anything per se online in regards to tracking. From that perspective, there are online apps and stuff to kind of maybe Mint might be one. Mint might be one. I don't use too many of them. I just
pen and paper.
Sometimes, I mean, you have too much stuff on your phone, and I try not to rely when it comes with money and stuff.
Yes.
I try not to have a lot of that on my phone in case it gets lost. Now, I understand the convenience with Apple Pay and Samsung Pay and everything, but I'm old school in the fact that kind of stuff needs to be
Apple
with
Pay
me.
got me into trouble. Justin, have you?
Was it with the coconuts?
Yeah.
Okay.
Seriously.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
How?
Apple is compatible with coconut. You know that, right?
Oh no. Oh yeah.
It's just so easy. Apple Pay is I'm like, and I'm done.
See,
and
again,
you get addicted to that. You be like, let me do 2 transactions.
See, I'm the kind of shopper where I'm like, I think twice before I buy something. And I'm like, why didn't I buy that?
Okay.
So yeah, it takes me like 5 hours to go to the mall.
Okay. So
Yeah.
don't you think that that's a pretty good strategy as well?
Well, yes.
huh?
But then I buy it. So yeah.
But see, and it goes to everybody. Everybody's spending habits are different, and you have to adjust your budget according to how your spending habits are, using those basic concepts of whether or not it's a want or a need, because it's all it's 2 things: discipline and mindset.
Okay.
And as an entrepreneur, you already know you have to have a specific mindset in order to, be, one, a business person, and 2, an entrepreneurial person at that, because that's on a whole nother level.
Yes.
But even with spending and, managing your debt, you have to have that mindset in order to say, okay, look, I have these goals that I'm trying to attain. What am I doing right now to attain those goals, and what do I have in place? In 5 years or even less from now, am I going to be satisfied with the outcome of where I'm at? With what I'm doing. It's a constant adjustment. Just because you make your budget now and you do it for a month or 2 doesn't mean that it's going to stick the whole time, because just like with daily living, things and situations change. Your budget is going to change. Your daily habits are going to change. So you need to review and make the necessary adjustments to attain those goals. So let's say you are working on reducing your debt in regards to credit cards.
Yes.
Some people want to do it, I'm just going to take this and just pay this off like here. They have that, okay, I want to pay that here. But then when they start working, actually doing the work, they're like, I don't think what I'm doing right now, I don't think I'm not going to be able to do that because you have all these outside things going on. So what your goal is, and making it an attainable goal within your means, and having the mindset to, either reduce your debt or eliminate it entirely or make it manageable. It all depends on you, your mindset, and how you approach it.
All right, 2 things you said. One, we'll talk about the goals part, because I think it's important for people to understand the whole purpose of tackling your debt management is to reach a particular goal.
Right.
So, and that goes into goal planning as well. Like,
Yes.
how am I going to get to this particular goal? Like,
Right.
how am I going to purchase a certain thing I need for my business, or
Right.
how am I going to start my business? And I often tell people it starts with debt management.
It does.
Can you speak a little bit to that a little bit more?
From a business perspective?
Yes. Or personal.
Well, I can look at it from a business perspective, and that can also translate to personal
Okay.
as well. So from a business perspective, I spoke to a guest that was at an entrepreneur lab session a few months back. She is a Kickstarter person in regards to getting funds for startups and et cetera. And she mentioned to me that many of the people who approach her just outright ask for money. They don't have their financials in place. They don't have, costs in it. They ask for these things. And she pointed out that, what we do in regards to teaching these concepts, I mean, it's universal. It can be from a business perspective and from personal perspective. It's vital because you just can't go up to a funder, a person that's a Kickstarter or something like that, and just say, well, I need this to get started. Okay, well, you came up with this number. Show us how you came up with this number. Did you do the research? Did you look into what you can afford versus what is affordable for you now? That kind of thing. You have to be realistic in what you have to spend now, what you can afford now, and then your goal on attaining that. There's steps in between. You just can't go from here to here.
Yes.
You have to do the work. And just even from a personal perspective, you have to do the work. You just can't go, well, my goal is to buy a home. Okay, you look into, well, what kind of home are you looking for? How much do you need to put down? What do you need in regards to spending, in regards to maintaining the home with insurance, and then going from there. You have to look at those steps, and then compare with what you're starting with now and what you need to do to get to that point. So even in regards to maintaining a family budget, the same thing when you're looking at your expenses, your bills. These are my bills. How am I going to, make these manageable with the income that's coming in? Also, again, is when you're doing your spending, if it's a want, is it a want or a need? I mean, a lot of people say, well, I'm living paycheck to paycheck. And that's true. Most of us are. But how are you spending paycheck to paycheck?
That's the key.
That's the key.
That's a good key. How are you spending?
How are you spending paycheck to paycheck?
I'm going to write that down.
It all goes back to your habits, your spending habits, and okay, like I said, do you really need that $4 6-foot latte today,
Coffee covered
and that's
peanuts.
and I always refer to that because that is my vice, and it's taken me a while to kind of cut back on that. But those are things I like. For me, I'll look at it like and say, that's gas money that I can take. I can use that from a business perspective and go to a business event, a mixer, client, whatever. That's money that could go into my business, or that's money I can save. For maybe a people want to go on a trip, or just to have an emergency fund, which was the topic we covered last week. So your spending habits drive your debt, your management, because if you have good spending habits, you wouldn't have a lot of debt.
And that's great because as we were talking about goal planning, you also mentioned mindset as well. So it takes a mindset to even tackle your debt management so that you can reach your goal.
Right.
Okay, thank you. So I just want to switch it up just a little bit. We're still gonna stay within the same content, but we have to give the viewers a little bit more about you so they connect with you as well. And mine was your inspiration, and why did you choose this route for a career? Because with your background and your expertise and extent of your knowledge, you could have just went and got a job and been the commuter,
which I was for 10 years.
Me too. I was a commuter too. H train saved my life. Yes. Just the H train saved my life.
Did you use your Apple Pay?
I did.
Or Google Pay, because I know you work for Google.
Yes, I did work for Google. That was the great part. Okay, that's a whole nother story.
I know. I'm just saying Google Pay. I know there's Google Pay out there now.
There is. It was so easy for us. They make it so convenient. It was like every month I had a ticket. It was like, what? I got a ticket. That's for me. Yes. And then when I go look at my personal history of budget, I'm like, no wonder why I got that ticket.
Yes.
It didn't come for free. It was just the convenience.
Exactly.
And that's another thing. I never really thought about that. If you make it convenient for someone to spend, then they're going to spend. Yes. That is a hard temptation.
Yes. Which is
the convenience of spending.
Which is
I didn't even think about that until now. That just kind of dropped into my psyche.
Yes.
The convenience of spending.
Yes. And it's a catch-22.
Yes.
Because it is very convenient. But at the same time, it's convenient to the point where it can be a fault. Yes. It can change into a bad habit, and it goes back to what you were saying in regards to mindset.
Yes.
People use credit cards as an emergency fund, which it can be, but you really don't want to rely on that vice because and you have to pay that money back and then some because, or like say for instance, and I've been in this route too, where you use a credit card to buy something as simple as food, you're like, yeah, it's just this, and then I can just pay it off and it'll get it out the way. But then, that's just this. It leads to something else, and then it leads to something else. And then when your bill comes in, and this is for just a regular credit card, not a debit card. Not a debit MasterCard, Visa card. This is a regular credit card. You look at it and you're like, oh, I wasn't really, I didn't think it was that bad. And it goes again to your spending habits. Now, when you look at your credit card bill, okay, they're adding interest to that. And some folks will say, well, money's real tight right now, so I'm just going to pay the minimum to get by. Well, the minimum is your interest.
Yes.
So you're paying interest only. You're not paying on the principal. So you're actually just paying what accrued on the interest and not on the actual purchase. So we suggest that you pay over And again, I'm not gonna go deeper into
Yes.
that because that is more somewhere of like a person that can go over with credit
Yes.
and credit card.
That's creating debt.
Yeah, but that's
Yes.
the habit that
Yes.
can start that
The
debt.
convenience of make it convenient for you. We'll end it on this. I had to learn how to determine what was my emergency.
And how did you do that?
Money will determine what your emergency is. I mean, and your family. So of course, if it has, a life or death situation, then I could look at that is that I need to use credit to fund whatever that emergency is. But if it wasn't in the category of what I consider an emergency, then I wouldn't touch the credit card. I'll just go without.
Okay. So and that's a good start. I will see this because the two go hand in hand to have an emergency fund. And it briefly goes into why I started doing this. For those who have been in the mortgage industry, it can be from a processing perspective, it can be very volatile. I was a doctor and a funder for 10 years, almost 10 years. So once that first layoff hit, because I'm with a major corporation, I want to move up into the company. There's outlets. I didn't want to stay at mortgage for long. I was in business management, but I wanted to be in finance as well. So once the money is good, you're working some serious hours. I mean, there's times where I was working 12 hours and then doing a 2-hour commute one way.
Yes.
So
that part.
That part. So once that first layoff hits, you're like, oh, I had no backup, no emergency fund to help. I thought I was savvy on it. I'm going to college. I've gone to college for this. I'm majoring in, I've taken finance classes, but knowing it and applying it are two different things. So when you're in that situation where you don't have an emergency fund, you don't have anything to fall back on, but you have a credit card, that's when you start going into those habits that you really don't need, really shouldn't be in. You plan ahead. And with our workshops, that's what we do to get people to plan ahead. So if something should happen, whether it be a layoff. I mean, like I said, I was in a volatile industry. I was laid off 4 times before I said enough is enough.
Wow.
Anything like that. Something even like a household setback in regards to a broken refrigerator. Something happened in regards to your car. You need maintenance on the car unexpectedly. You need to have that emergency fund, a cushion of some sort. And I'm not talking about what they show on the commercials in regards to those insurances where they cover you or whatever. There's always a catch to those. So when you watch the commercials for that, please read the fine print. But having that fund established according to how your household spends, to get you through whatever emergency or difficulty comes within your household.
Yes. And, that's really great, too, especially being an entrepreneur, because that was the first thing that I had to plan for as well. Actually, going through closing my bakery, making that financial decision to close a business that no longer that was supporting itself. But I also had to have a plan for, okay, what am I going to do in the meantime? So having that emergency fund prevented me from going into more debt.
Exactly.
That's what a lot of people don't understand, that while the checks are coming in and while we're toasting champagne and, we could do all of that, that's the time where you have to put into those little secure funds so that you won't get yourself into more debt while you're at that low level.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense,
Mm-hmm.
and it ties into the concept of your first bill to pay off is yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Pay yourself first.
That's a hard one.
It is very hard.
That is a very hard one.
It is very
Mm-hmm.
hard. It can be as something as 10% of your check, or whatever. But always keep in mind, and again, it's the mindset again, that when you're paying yourself first, you're investing in yourself. Who else is going to invest in yourself but you? You earn that money. A lot of people want to spend it on, physical things or whatever. But why not spend it in a way that you're putting it toward yourself, to invest in yourself? It can be something as simple as, I wouldn't suggest a savings account because it has no return. But just putting it in an account,
CD.
Look into
IRA.
something like that where it can be accessible, a rainy day fund, But pay yourself first. That's something that Warren Buffett I really take to heart, and I learned that when I learned about.
I had to learn that the hard way, to pay yourself first. I really did, because the kind of person I am, I always looked out for people that was working for me first. And then when the situation came up, I didn't pay myself where I could utilize another source of income to help someone else. So that was a really hard, crucial lesson that I learned, and I learned it. So my advice to women in business, please don't get to the point where you have to learn a lesson that's going to cost you financially. Those are the hard lessons, is when you learn a lesson that costs you financially in business. Sometimes it's necessary to learn, but we're here to talk about it today and give you that information so that you don't have to go through that.
Yes, we in this country have a very bad habit of reacting instead of planning ahead and acting. We're always on a reactive perspective.
All right. Yes. So, just for time's sake, I'm going to say thank you for taking your knowledge, your experience. You worked in the, tell us your background a little bit more, the mortgage industry.
Yes. So mortgage processing industry with one of the big three. And I've also worked in the insurance agency.
And I'm sure you have a very deep personal testimony regarding that as well. So let's get into it. So we could wrap up. Let's talk about your event that's coming up.
Yes. So twice a month we have what is called Sip and Learn Thursday. Sip and Learn Thursday workshops are basically they cover financial concepts. It's free to our community and beyond. So it's not just Stockton. People from other like Lodi and Manteca are welcome to come. And what we do is we go over the concepts. We have like we have like a little workbook that we go over in regards to learning the concepts about debt management, emergency fund, estate planning, which that's an event that's coming up next month. All those things, and it's about 45 minutes. And from there, you can also set up a one-on-one complimentary consultation with me to go over and start a financial strategy for you.
All right.
And like I said, look at your finances and look at your how you're spending on paper. Put it on paper, and then see exactly where you can, go from there. You also are given homework assignments. One of them is to track your spending for this debt management event. So it's a little twist to it, even though it's an educational workshop. We do offer the SIP part is, you know, you have
Come and eat.
Come and eat. You get
Right, Dustin? Right, Dustin?
You come and eat. You
Bring
have
your
some,
Apple Pay,
you have
though.
some snackage. You have some little snackage there. Because it's family friendly.
Chef likes to eat.
It's non-alcoholic beverages.
That's
so
good.
Especially since it's going to be hot
Yes.
this week. Iced coffee, some water, a mocktail, you know, that kind of thing.
You had me at iced coffee.
So, you know, it's just it's a chill environment at Huddle. Huddle is an awesome place. Very small. It's not a classroom setting. It's just like a very small setting so people can feel comfortable. And then we go over these concepts, and then you're welcome to ask questions before setting up a one-on-one with me.
All right. And we'll also have that link as well on the voiceofstockton.org. I will post the link right on the video that you can view as well. And Chef Tobias Cooks as well will repost the information for you to have. One more thing before we get out of here. What has been one, if you don't mind sharing, because I share all the time, personal testimonies is what grow us. What is one personal challenge that you had that led you to say, okay, you know what, I'm going to take my 20-year plus experience and I'm going to go ahead and go the entrepreneurship route, but at the same time, I'm going to help people with the knowledge and information I have. What was that one personal challenge that really challenged you in terms of making this decision of being an entrepreneur?
Of being an entrepreneur? Not having a consistent cash flow, because when you're working for someone that you already know, okay, this is how much you're going to make an hour, you know, you have a paycheck, but there's drama that can go with that paycheck. I would say that the mortgage industry, the environment that I was in, like I said, it can be very hostile. It's money. You know, people want their money so they can buy their house. We all know, you know, without saying that period of time was very shady at points. I'm happy to say that the environment or who I was involved with wasn't at a very high level. I'm not going to say that they were totally innocent on it, but it is what it is. That being said, there's a lot of pressure. It's very stressful. And I came to a point to where between being laid off 4 times, dealing with that type of stress, do I really want to deal with this now? I'm tired of, and this has always been my drive. I'm tired of people telling me what to do. I get that from my mom.
Shout out to your mom. What's her name?
Yes, Myrna. Rest in peace.
Yes.
But I'm tired of people telling me what to do. So I'm like, you know what? Let me go out and do this on my own. I love to help people. Why not earn an income helping people? You know, and then from there it just evolved. You know, I would also say that being downtown and learning about Huddle the way I learned about Huddle. Shout out to Matt Amen out there that took the time to talk to me that day when I just popped up and said, what was this? And from there, it evolved into meeting you, meeting some of the people that are building down in downtown Stockton, being part of the Huddle community, which I love, and that is my home, my second home. And learning from everybody within the community that uses Huddle, like you, that I've come across, and just getting, feeding in on their entrepreneurship and learning from them and networking with them. So that's the thing. That's the thing that really, that drive about not wanting anybody telling me, over my head. When I know things need to be done, I don't like to be micromanaged. I'm an adult. When things need to be done, I know how to do it. Tell me how to do it, I'll do it. I don't want that anymore. So now I have to tell myself to do it now.
Yes. And I can imagine being a woman as well in that field.
Yes.
Is a whole nother conversation.
Yes, you can be very
scrutinized.
You can be very scrutinized, talked down on. And then when you speak up for yourself, you can be criticized for that.
Yeah.
And that's on a whole different thing. But yes, that is what made me decide to go on this route, on this journey of awesomeness.
Yes. All right. That is our time. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing.
I've enjoyed my time here.
And I appreciate you.
I appreciate you too.
And we've been back and forth with each other for a little over a year.
Yes.
But guess what? Now we're here, right?
Yes. Thank you.
All right, Chef Tobias cooks with Women in Business Conversation. You can check out my Facebook page at Chef Tobias Cooks, my Instagram page, Chef Tobias Cooks, my YouTube page, Chef Tobias Cooks. Also, please visit thevoiceofstockton.org. Please click like, subscribe, and donate. I will see you next week back again with Women in Business supporting Central Valley. Thank you. Have a good week.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to The Voice of Stockton on KXVS.
Da 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 da, shabba da do da da da, shada da dee da da da, shada da dee da do da da da, shada da dee da da da, shada da be da do da da da, shada da be da da da, yeah, shada dee da, shada to buy is good.